All right, hello everybody. Welcome to this session. It's been a long time since we've done a session with you all, especially for you all on the Edyst YouTube channel. So thanks all for joining in today. It's been some time. So how's everyone doing? What's up? What's happening these days for everybody? It's been some time, everybody, both for our students here as well as the people who are watching on YouTube. So what's up, everyone? What are you guys doing? What's keeping you busy these days? We'll start in just about 2 minutes, but do say hi on the chat so that I know that you're here and I know that you're listening. So do say hi or yes on the chat so that I know that you're available and you can hear me. All right. If you all can hear me, please do say yes on the chat. Those of you are here and those of you are on YouTube as well, please do say yes so that I know that you all can hear me. Okay, some couple of yeses. All right, so we'll wait a couple of minutes to start, just about 2 more minutes to get started with the session. Yeah, so that we can all see. Okay, hi, nice to see. All right, more people coming in. Good to see that. Okay, awesome. All right, so yeah, a lot of you are coming in these days and in these minutes as well. Nice, good to see this. Okay. All right, so you guys are saying to start? Sure, we'll start up. I'll just wait 1 more minute to get started. Meanwhile, what's up, everybody? What's happening? How are your exams going? I know many of you have exams. So how are the exams going for everybody? Have your exams started? If they're not started yet, how are they going? How's your preparation going? Do say something so that I also come to know what mood you guys are in right now. Okay. Exam prep going well, sir. All right. Good to know. Good to know it's going well. Awesome. Okay, everybody. So we'll get started with today's session. So today's session is all about all about EPAM. We're going to discuss 3 specific things. What's the EPAM pattern for this upcoming test? Now, some of you were asking, some of you on YouTube and generally outside were asking about how to even attend the EPAM test. Well, EPAM only comes to certain companies, so it does not come to. It comes to only certain colleges. It does not come to all colleges. If you don't know if you don't know if it's coming to your college or not, please do reach out to your placement officer and they will help you out with that. For all the Edyst students who are here today, definitely EPAM is coming to your college, so don't worry about that. All right, so we're going to discuss about EPAM pattern. What is the syllabus that you should follow for each of these for that particular pattern? And then we'll go straight into the national mock test MCQs questions. So EPAM national mock test conducted by Edyst. So what the one we conducted, that I'm just go through the Edyst, sorry, the MCQs question, and then the national mock test coding questions. Okay. So we're going to discuss both of these things in just about 10 minutes. But first, let's have a look at the pattern and syllabus. So if you guys are ready, we'll get started. So please do say ready on the chat so that I know that you're going to get started. You're ready to get started. So please do say ready. Awesome. Okay, great. Good to know. All right. So let's first start with the pattern and syllabus. Now, EPAM has been hiring, and EPAM is actually one of those companies that is a services company, but a high-end service company. So in fact, the products they work on are actually at a level of product companies. They have a very big base of competitive programmers within themselves. So they really like to ask good questions. And on top of that, they are a Java-based company. So one thing to remember, everybody, is that they are a completely Java-based company. So completely Java-based company. They do have other practices, but when it comes to hiring freshers, they will ask all questions based on Java. If you are someone who does not really know Java or isn't aware of the Java concepts or is not comfortable in Java, it's going to be difficult to actually crack this. So I would just suggest, if you're not super great at Java, don't learn Java just because of this one language. But if you are good at Java, then this is a very good company to go for, right? And there are Edyst alumni working at this company. They all say all say good things about this company, nothing bad about it. Okay, so coming back to this one, what are the general syllabus and the pattern? So as per this off-campus hiring that they're going to do, not off-campus, sorry, on-campus hiring that they're going to do in the upcoming few days, there are going to be 20 questions of MCQ and there are going to be 2 coding questions. The 20 MCQ questions will be of 20 minutes. Now, generally, as per the previous year's patterns, and they keep changing their pattern. So I'm just telling you what our experience is. If it does not come exactly like this, please don't say Aneeq sir told me this and so on. No, you will learn from your experience and we'll help your juniors after that. So they generally ask questions related to OOP, multi-threading, exception handling, and data structures in their MCQs. And the mock MCQ that we had given you, we try to incorporate all of these different concepts in it as well. When I say OOP concepts, I mean all of that: method overloading, overriding, inheritance, right? All of those things, abstract classes, interfaces. So you need to know all these things because they are a Java company and they want to know in depth about Java from you. So they are going to ask you this. MCQs generally, you can say it's almost like the elimination round and coding is the selection round. If you get your coding right, then you're most probably selected. But if you don't get your MCQs correct, then you can get eliminated. So they'll ask you these concepts. Then there'll be concepts on multi-threading, exception handling, and data structures. In data structures, again, stacks, queues, linked list, trees, those kind of things. A lot of inbuilt data structure. So your collections framework comes into picture over here. You should definitely know your collections framework over here as well, right? These are the kind of concepts that they're going to ask you questions on MCQ. Now, when it comes to coding, they are going to have 2 questions in coding. Generally speaking, each question has its own time limit. So in the mock test, we give you 75 minutes for the overall questions. But usually speaking, each question has its own time limit. So one question will have like probably 30 minutes. The next one will have 45 minutes to complete. Generally, that's how it works. The first question will be easier. And the first question is typically going to be on arrays. So this is going to be Q1. Q1 is going to be typically on this. Majorly on arrays. I have not generally seen them ask anything other than arrays. In arrays, it might get a little bit complicated, maybe on prefix sums, maybe on sorting, maybe on 2 pointers and so on. But nothing other than arrays is what I have seen them asking. They may ask this time, but generally question 1 is going to be on this. Now, question 2 can be from any one of these. It could be from data structures, that is either stacks or graphs and so on. It could be from backtracking, or it could be from dynamic programming. Any one of these, it could be there. Different times you've got different ones. Now, just a small thing about graphs. They are not going to ask you like too many complex questions on graphs. At max, they'll ask you to implement Dijkstra's or prims or something like that. A very standard graphs algorithm is what we have observed. Even in backtracking dynamic programming, nothing too complicated. They will mainly ask in backtracking, for example, generate all variations. This could be generate all subsequences, generate all sub-arrays, generate all subsets, those kind of questions on backtracking. And dynamic programming, typically your 0-1 knapsack approach or your typical dynamic programming question is what you can expect. Okay. So this is the overall syllabus of EPAM from previous year's questions. Now, one thing I will tell you is that they will never ask you a question that is directly applicable. So for example, even if you look at backtracking, when I'm saying generate all variations, they will put one exception saying that except for variations that involve this. So they don't want you to just blindly apply the formula that you're given, but rather some tweaks will be there. That's why it's a coding contest, right? So they'll make some tweaks on that and give to you. So even in dynamic programming, it may not be completely 0-1 knapsack. It will be, you can pick, you are not allowed to pick certain elements, let's say, in the 0-1 knapsack. So that's again a different possibility. So overall, this is the syllabus from our observation of all of the previous year's questions that we have seen. They may ask you some more questions here and there. And in coding, by the way, in question 1, there is one more thing. They may ask you on OOP also. So yes, can somebody ask OOP coding questions? Well, EPAM seems to like asking those kind of coding questions, and we'll do 2 of those coding questions today also. All right. So any questions or doubts regarding the syllabus or the pattern or anything? Yes, there is sectional cutoff. Somebody is asking, is there a sectional cutoff? in the last few years, there was a sectional cutoff. Generally, there would be sectional cutoff. That depends on the competition again. So it's not like, every year it's going to be 80% or 70% cutoff, but there was a sectional cutoff, meaning you needed to pass both the MCQs with a certain percentage and the coding with a certain percentage. You couldn't have both, meaning that you can't have that you did MCQ 0 and coding 100% and you get through. It doesn't happen. It will happen that, if you did MCQ 60% and coding 60%, you could still get through because the cutoff was 50-50. So don't think that you can just do coding and get away with it. They did have sectional cutoff also. Right? Cool. Anybody, any questions regarding the pattern, regarding the approach and so on? So somebody's saying, sir, people with Python background cannot apply for EPAM. Yes, unfortunately, EPAM is one of those companies where Python background cannot apply for this role specifically. They may have certain Python roles elsewhere on an off campus. That is a possibility. But for this role, especially the role that they're going to all the campuses and hiring for, that is very strictly Java, because they are a Java company. But EPAM is the big exception in this, where they don't even entertain C++ students. So they are a big exception here. Most 99% of the other companies entertain all the languages. They don't entertain just one, they entertain all languages. So EPAM is an exception here. Somebody is asking, what about next round? What the next round? So the round after this is generally an HR communication round. You don't have another coding round after this. You just have an HR communication round after this one. So for that, we'll do another session where we'll explain how you can, be better, what are the kind of things you can talk about, how to introduce yourself and so on. So we'll do that. Okay. Anybody, anything else? Any other questions regarding the pattern and regarding EPAM and regarding anything about this company? If not, I'll go to the next one. Okay. Okay. Somebody's saying, sir, please tell about second round as I have cleared the NCET round. So this round I'm talking about is the second round, by the way. So this is the second round. Okay. First round has already been completed. First round is already completed. I'm talking about the second round over here. So this, what you see here is the second round pattern. And the third round is the one which will have the HR and the companies. Okay. Yeah. So this is the second round. The third round will be the HR round. So if you already created the second round, be happy. All the best, and share your interview experience on the chat if you've already created the second round. So that's nice. Okay. Cool. So, all right. Any other questions or doubts, everybody, about the pattern, about anything that you should do before I go ahead? Any other question? All right, I think all good. I'll go ahead to the next one. So today's agenda, what we'll look at is we'll look at some EPAM MCQ questions. Let's look at that here. We'll today look at MCQs, and we'll solve 3 coding questions. We'll try to solve the easy coding questions, in which 2 of them will be OOP into 2, and 1 slightly more difficult but arrays question. When it comes to backtracking and dynamic programming, there are questions, but they will take a little longer to explain. So I'll probably release a separate video or a solution for that one, and I'll help you out with that. Okay. All right. Somebody's asking on Geeks for Geeks. I have seen that they generally ask 3 coding questions. So what I am telling you is what is the most confirmed thing that we have received from the confirmed sources. You may have read something else, and it may change at the last moment also. I'm just telling you what I have seen from the latest confirmed sources. Probably it has changed. The point here being that the syllabus is the same. If your coding question is one extra separate thing, but the syllabus is roughly the same. Okay, cool. So yeah, we'll look at one MCQ today, and we'll solve 3 coding questions easy. And if there's time permits, we'll go into the dynamic programming and backtracking questions also, right? This is all questions from previously asked questions as well, right? These are all previously asked questions. I'm not taking any new question, something that we have created, but rather these are all previously asked questions also. Okay, so with that being said, let's get started. I'll start with the MCQs, right? So the MCQs is not a direct previously asked question, but rather we have taken all of the topics at which they generally ask. This is not a direct previously asked, but the coding questions are all direct previously asked questions. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. So 1 second. Cool. All right. So I am just going to open up the screen, and this is the Edyst platform where these MCQs are. Later on, I'll show you how you also can attempt some of these MCQs. I'll just show this to you separately as well, right? Okay. So this is the first question. What is the output of this program? So this is class. So whenever there's an output question, I've told this to you multiple times, everybody, always make sure that you start with the main method. Whenever there's an output question, always start with the main method and then, go forward. So 1 second. Yeah. So always start with the main method. You can read all of this stuff, but you can always start with main method here. So overload object, so it's trying to create a new object of class overload, and it creates a new object. No issues there. If I can see overload here, doesn't seem to be any issue with that class as such. Int a is equal to 0. So you have some int a, whatever that int a is. That int a will not affect this int a because these are all local variables. Okay. Object.add 6,7. So what is 6,7 over here? Now, when it tries to add this, right? Object.add 6,7. When it tries to add this, it has two add functions over there. So this is what is called method overloading, where you can have two functions with the same name but different parameters. And it's going to use this one, and it's going to be like, object.add a comma b, and x is equal to a plus 2. What x? It is the object's x, because there's an x here, so object's x. So a here was 6, so it's going to be a plus 2 is going to be 8. When I print object.x, it should print 8. So answer will be 8 over here. Okay. I think fairly easy and straightforward. If you have any doubts, let me know. Otherwise, I'm moving on to the next one. So guys, if you have doubts, please reach out, and I'll help you out with that. Okay. Another question here. So again, looks like almost the same thing, but here object overload object is equal to new overload, int a is equal to 0, and now it says object.add 6. So it's saying only one parameter here, which means it's going to go for the first method, not the second one. And when it does that, it says x is equal to a plus 1. So x becomes 7. And when I print x, it should become 7 over here. So I'll click that and it goes to the next one. It becomes 7. All right. So you have here class Edyst. You again seem to be having an overload kind of a thing, but let's go ahead and check it out. Do we have a main here? Yes, you do have a main over here. Edyst s is equal to new Edyst. So it's a create a new object. s.m1 20, 20. So it's trying to call the method m1 20, 20. Now we have two methods here, right? So two methods here. One is int I and float f, and the other one is float f and int I. Now, this is okay to do, by the way. This one is okay to do, provided we are able to resolve it correctly. What do we mean by it's okay to do? If you look at it over here, you see that it's int I and float f, meaning that this first m1, the first m1 is expecting what? It's expecting two elements, both of the it's expecting two arguments, one integer, one float. This one is expecting one float, one integer, right? Now imagine if I had only one method over here, that would also be okay. Let's say if the first m1 was the only one there, that's fine. We will automatically typecast 20 into float, either one of the 20. Okay. But in this case, you have both of them m1. While they have different parameters, we are not able to typecast them into a float. The reason being both are integers, and I can typecast this to float. I can also typecast this to float. So I'll not actually be able to typecast this particular thing to float over here. So this is not going to be a runtime error, but it's going to be a compile time error. Okay, it's going to be a compile time error because it will not even be able to compile this entire thing. Okay, so it's going to be a compile time error. All right, let's go to the next one. What is the process of defining a method in terms of itself that is a method that calls itself? I think we all know this. This is recursion. It's a method calling itself is recursion. Fairly straightforward. Okay, let's go to the next one. Which of these is correct about passing an argument by call by value process? So I was discussing this yesterday with some of the students, and it's come here today. There are two ways in which you call a method. One is call by value and one is call by reference. I'm not going into detail of that, just telling you all so that you can go and revise that particular part. But call by value is where you just pass the value. Whatever happens within that method, or in this case, they're calling it subroutine. Whatever happens in that method or subroutine does not affect the original, the value that called it. Whereas if I say call by reference, it is like it's actually giving you the exact object, and you can make whatever changes to it. And when I get it back, it is already changed. Simplest way of understanding call by value and call by reference. Okay, call by value is call by value actually creates a copy of the integer. So it's like, let's say your class teacher came to your class and give you a copy of the assignment. So they have an assignment question paper and they gave a copy of the assignment to everybody. Okay, and everybody took a copy of the assignment, and then the class teacher said, please mark everything in that assignment. So you marked it on your assignment, but the class teacher's copy is still intact. It did not change because she gave you a copy of the assignment. That's called call by value. Call by reference is when you're doing attendance, sometimes your teacher will just pass around the sheet and say, hey, everybody, please mark your attendance. The same sheet is going around to everybody, and everybody who is making changes gets the changes onto the same paper. When it comes back to the class teacher, all of your changes are there with the class teacher. That is called by reference. So this is the difference between call by value and call by reference. So just a mini revision for all of you. So now just coming to this one, which of these is correct about passing an argument by call by value process? So copy of argument is made into the formal parameter of the subroutine. This is correct. Reference to original argument is passed. No, reference is not passed. The copy is passed. Copy of argument is made into the formal parameter of the subroutine, and changes made on parameter of subroutine have effect on original argument. No, it has no effect on the original argument. Reference to original argument is passed. No, reference is not passed. It's called by value. So reference is not passed. Okay, cool. Let's go on to the next one. Which of these can be overloaded? So again, this is all overloading questions. So methods can be overloaded. Constructors can be overloaded. So in that case, all of the mentioned can be overloaded. You can have overloading of constructors also. Okay. All right. What is the process of defining two or more methods within the same class that have same name but different parameters declaration? This is method overloading, which is what we've been seeing so far. In method overriding, the best way to remember is method overriding. The same method is defined in two different classes. It's not in the same class. It's in two different classes, and method overriding happens only in inheritance. All right. Let's go on to the next one. So let's look at this. Again, always start with the main method. Don't even read the other stuff. Just start with the main method directly. So public static void main string args. So GFG null. So basically it's a null in the argument. Now, if I go here, the thing is it can apply to all of these. Right? Again, the same issue. If it was a direct string given, then I can resolve that. Yes, it is the string one that's being called. If it is a direct integer given, I can resolve it to an integer. But the thing is, this null can be applicable to integer, to object, as well as to string. So as we did with the earlier one, it should be compiler error. Right? I can't resolve to any one of these. So it should be a compiler error over there. Okay. Cool. Let's go on to the next one. Which scanner class method is used to read string value from the user? Which scanner method is used? So we know we have two methods. One is next and the other is next line. Next will only take till the next token, the token being the space token, right? So next is always going to take up till the next available space. Next line will take up till the next available \n or \r/n, depending on which operating system you are on. But it will take till the next new line over there. Okay, cool. So let's go on to the next one. All right. The formatting is a little bit off. Okay. So what is the output of this program? It's already starting in a main. Boolean var1 is true, var2 is false. If var1, you print var1. So yeah, var1 is true. So you should print true, right? Okay, it's a simple question. I don't think you'll get that simple a question over here. You'll not get this kind of simple question, but still, if you get, then you're lucky. All right. Which of the following is the correct way of implementing an interface salary by class manager? So the way you implement an interface is to use the keyword implement. So we're going to use the keyword implement. So when extends is for classes. So this is wrong. Class manager implement salary. This is correct. This would be the correct one. So we'll use this. And for this one, it's class manager import salary. No, import salary would be wrong. Implement salary is the correct one. Right. Okay. Which of the following can be used to fully abstract a class from its implementation? Again, it should be interfaces. You can fully abstract a class from its implementation. What does it mean to fully abstract a class from its implementation? Well, technically speaking, if you implement a particular interface, the interface can have default method definitions for its methods. So the class can just say class so and so. Let's say class Edyst implements certain interface. Class Edyst implements certain interface, let's say. It need not implement all the methods. This is a class need not implement all the methods. It can just keep the methods there. Automatically, the interfaces would have been implemented. The methods in the interface would be implemented. If you didn't get anything what I said, you need to go and revise interfaces. I'm not going to do a deep dive in interface here, but you need to go and revise interfaces for that. All right. Which of these packages contains abstract keyword? So this is the java.lang package. It's a theoretical question that you should just know. Which of these questions should, so which of these packages contain it's abstract keyword? It's java.lang. Which of these is not abstract? So which one of these is not abstract? This would be abstract list is abstract. It's a good question. I believe thread is not abstract. You don't have thread to be abstract because thread has its own implementation. The others can be further extended. I believe so. So again, it's a theoretical question. Thread is not abstract. It's just a theoretical question. If superclass and subclass have same variable name, which keyword should you use to use the superclass's variable? You'll use the super keyword, right? So if you want to use this, the superclass's variable, you'll use the super keyword. Okay. Sorry, did we attempt this one? Yeah. Let's go here. If the in the below class is constructor overloaded or is it method overloaded? So what's the best way to know if it's constructor overloaded or method overloaded? Is if the name is the same as the class name, it's constructor overloaded, right? So that would be constructor overloaded over here. Okay. Which of these is supported by method overriding in Java? When we do method overriding, we are actually doing polymorphism, right? It's just another way of polymorphism. Abstraction would be interfaces and abstract classes. Encapsulation would be your overall class and objects, your getter setters mainly. But polymorphism here would be done by method overriding because same method being used in two different classes would be polymorphism. Static members are not inherited to subclass. True or false? False. They are inherited to the subclass. You can actually get the static members in their subclass. So it's false over here. Okay. What is the output of this program? So again, start at the main method. B object is equal to new B. When I create this object, what happens? It'll first try to call the B constructor. So when it tries to call the B constructor, it calls the super constructor. That's the A constructor, right? So this would be the A constructor. So when I go to the A constructor, I get here I is equal to 1 and J is equal to 2. I get I is equal to 1 and J is equal to 2. That's what A assigns it. So int I, int J. So okay, it got assigned. And now we say system.out.println obj.I, obj.j. Okay, so they're basically testing that is it that I and J are also inherited here? Yes, I and J are inherited. And if you do obj.I plus obj.j, you should get 1 and 2. You should get 1 and 2 over here. Okay. What is the output of this program? Again, start with the main method. B obj is equal to new B. So I created a new object B. Obj.I is 1. So when I create a new object, first it says int J. That's it. Nothing else. But it's also inheriting I from here. So it also has I. Obj.I is 1, obj.j is 2. And when I say obj.display, which display will it do? Will it do this display or will it do this display? It's going to do the B display. It's going to do B's display because the B's, because B, it's a B object, right? So it's going to do B's display over here. So when it does the B display, it's going to print out J, and J was 2. So it should print out 2 ideally over here. Okay. Cool. So let's see. All right. So we missed out one question, I believe. So let me just check what question we kind of missed out. Let's just check out. I think it's an error on the question key and not us. So all right, this is correct. Which question did we miss out on? All right, in this case, oh right, correct. Sorry, I made a mistake here. I went like very quickly. If you have a type associated with it, so then it's no longer a constructor. So even though the name is same, this is not a constructor because you have a void associated with it. Your constructors cannot have a type associated, right? So this one is a constructor, yes, but this one is a method. So it's neither constructor overloading nor method overloading. This is a good question, by the way. So I made a mistake here in my hurry, but yeah, I would have cleared the cutoff for sure. But yeah, this is A is the construct. A here is a method, and public A here is the constructor, by the way. So when you have a return type, it automatically becomes a method. All right. So these are some of the MCQs. By no means are these MCQs exhaustive. They are definitely not exhaustive MCQs, meaning that they are not complete. They are not all the MCQs you'll ever face. But these are the type of MCQs you can expect. Some of the things that were not asked in this MCQs are data structures, but you should definitely prepare for data structures. It is something that they can ask in your MCQs. So anyway, that's the key of this MCQs. If you have any doubts, let me know in the chat and I'll solve that. So, but this part is done. We went through the MCQs. Now let's go into the coding questions, something which you are all here for. So let's pick up some of the coding questions that we have over here. Okay. We'll start with this question called the factory method. This is a question that confused a lot of students when it was asked. I think it was asked not last year, but I think last to last year. Confused a lot of students when it was asked. So I'll just take this question up now. Cool. Okay. Shall we start with the coding questions, everybody? Are you all ready? Shall we start with the coding questions? Please let me know if you're ready. Right? Are you guys there? Okay. Ready? Cool. 1 second. Okay. So let's pick up this question. According to Wikipedia, a factory is simply an object that returns another object from some other method call, which is assumed to be new. In this problem, you are given an interface food. There are two classes, pizza and cake, which implement the food interface, and they both contain a method getType. So you're given, two classes, pizza and cake, which implement the food interface. So, this is what I'm talking about. They are a Java company. They like to ask Java questions. Okay? They both contain a method called getType. That's fine. The main function in the class creates an instance of the food factory class. So what it does is it creates an instance of the food factory class. This is, if we look at the main method also, let's just check it out here. This is the main method, and it creates an instance of the food factory class over here. That's what it says. Okay. The food factory class contains a method getFood of string that returns a new instance of pizza or cake according to its parameter. So it's basically, factory method is a pattern. What is that pattern? It's a pattern in which a class is responsible only for giving you new objects. There is no real purpose of that class apart from giving you new objects of other classes, right? Why would somebody want to do this? When you get into a company, you'll realize the uses of a factory pattern and so on. So here what they're saying is there's a food factory class. That food factory class will produce an object of either pizza type or cake type. Both pizza and cake are classes that have already been implemented. So you just need to produce a pizza or cake type object depending on what is the string value that you get. Okay. So what you need to do is, if I go back here and I'm just supposed to write my code here, depending on the order, if the order is cake, I need to return a cake object. If the order is pizza, I should return a pizza object. And see over here that both cake as well as your pizza have already been created. So it's not like they've not been created, they've already been created. So all I need to do is, I need to say that, okay, if order dot equals, and everybody, another pro tip in Java, whenever you're checking equality, always check for equal sign. Don't just do equal to, but use the dot equals method. So I say if it's equal to cake, if the order equals to cake, then you should return. Now look at what's asking. It's asking a food type, right? We should return a food type, but we know that both cake and pizza implement food, so we can safely return. So I can say return a new object. I should return new object of cake. That's what it's asking for. Else return a new object of pizza. That's what it's asking for over here. If I run this, I get wrong answer. What's the wrong answer? The factory returned class cake, but we are saying it returned pizza. Interesting. So what was the input over here? Let's also, okay, 1 second. Order equals cake. Yeah, this is another thing. Cake will be given in lowercase. Pizza is also going to be given in lowercase. That's the issue. So if I put a lowercase over here, now it should work out, right? It passed the test case. And if I run it, awesome, right? That's cool. This is one of the cool animations that we have. All right. So it passes all the test cases. Is this part clear, everybody? Did you understand? Factory method is a different pattern you may not have known, but otherwise, did you all understand this part? The logic, is it understood? If it's clear, please say clear. We'll move on to the next coding question. Do say clear, everybody. If you have got this question, then we'll move on to the next coding question. Okay, clear. Awesome. Right. Okay, great. Let's go to the next one, which is frequency of objects. Right. So you're given a list which contains objects from 3 classes. Given a list which contains objects from 3 classes: teacher, student, and admin. You have to print the frequency of each class on a separate line in the given format. So you have to print frequency of admin, then frequency of student, and frequency of teacher. Now, this is the interesting part. You're not given strings whose frequency you have to check. You may have all done this before, done strings and so on, but they're not giving you strings. They're actually giving you objects. And depending on the type of the object, you have to find the frequency of the type of the object. So meaning that here, if you see, they've given you an array list of objects. It's an array list of object type. That object subtype could be either teacher, could be either student, or could be either admin. Any one of those things it could be. Okay. So how do I figure out which class my current object belongs to, or what type my current object is? Again, so this is another syntax that you all need to know. And if you do a dot get class on an object, it will print out the class of that object, right? So what I'm going to first do is, in this case, I'm just going to try to figure out how to get the class, because if I get the class of the object, then I will, be able to, if I just get the class of the object, then what I'll be able to do is I'll be able to figure out how to get the frequency of it. So at least I should be able to get the class of the object first, right? So let's first do that. I'll use the for each loop for, object O in list of objects. Let's see if I can somehow print the class of these objects. So I know that there is something called as, let's say I did something like this, system.out.println. If I just did println O, I'm not going to get anything. I'll most probably get an address or something like that, right? So I get something like teacher at, student at, teacher at, and so on, right? This is one thing. I could use this, but this will not work because what's actually happening is O is being converted to a string over here. If I do something like e.getClass, this is a method which allows us to actually get the class of it. So if I do e.getClass, what it's telling me is telling me class space teacher, class space student, class space admin. Still is not solving what I want. What I want is exactly either teacher or student or admin. What I could do is I could do dot split over here, right? I could do dot split. What am I splitting on? I'm splitting on a space. What this is going to give me is it's actually going to give me an array. So I repeat, when I split it, I'm going to get an array, something like this, something like class and teacher, right? I should get an array like this because I'm splitting across the space. And then I'm saying for that array, get me the, so 1 second, get me the second element of that array. Let's see if this works. No, it doesn't work because I can't do a dot split on just the class type. I need to convert that to a string also. So let me do to string. And then let me see if I can split it. Yeah, so it's working. Right. So again, let me tell you all the entire conversion that I did over here. What did I do? I first I did get class. Okay. What get class returns is actually, it's giving me class type. It's not giving me the class string. Now you'll say, but sir, if it's not giving class string, how are we able to print class teacher, class admin, and class and so on? Well, we were able to print it because by default, Java will convert it to a string when I do system.out.println. So it's converting to a string. The moment I did, let's say, for example, I was just doing this, right? Dot get class when I was doing, right? At that point, it's converting this class teacher into a string. It's converting it to a string over there, right? By default, because it's a system.out.println. Okay. But if I want to access it and split it, I need to convert it to a particular string first. So I'll say convert to a string. So I'll say to string over here. I convert to a string. Now, even that string is not useful to me because it still contains the word class. So what I'm doing is I'll split it. When I do dot split, what this will give me is it's going to give me an array. It's going to be an array which has separated by space. So what did I do? I did dot to string and converted to a string. That string I converted to an array, right? Now of that array, now this is an array. Of that array, I want the second element. So I went for index number 1. When I did that, I got teacher, student, teacher, admin, admin, teacher, admin, and so on. So this is just when I'm going through this list, I'm able to convert the particular object or extract from that object the type of the class, all right, or type of the object. Now I don't want to print that. That printing is not really helping me. What I want to do is I want to store string, let's say obj type. Let's say I say obj type is equal to this. So I got what my object type is over here. Okay. Now, once I've got my object type here, what should I do next? Now I need to calculate the frequency of each, right? So the best way to calculate frequency is by using a hash map. That's the fastest way that we can do it. So let me just do hash map. Let me just see if it's imported, by the way. Can we import? Okay, they don't have a, what do you say? I don't think the hash map is imported as such. And I don't think I can add the import. Let me see if it's possible to add the import before. No, I can't add there. All right. If they have not given that beforehand, we might need to import it further. So let me see if I can import it here. Import Java. I don't think this should work, but nothing goes in trying. Anyways, so let's say hash map string comma integer. Let's say frequency equal to new hash map string comma integer. So I created a new hash map here, and what I'll do is I also want them to be in ascending order. So I'll make this a tree map rather, because I want admin, student, teacher, right? So I want it to be in ascending order of keys. So I'd rather keep it like this. You can also give linked hash map. That's up to you, right? So you can do frequency dot put. Actually, linked hash map would be better. Linked will be faster than the tree map. So linked hash map. And so yeah, I'm going to say frequency dot put. Initially speaking, we don't have anything, right? So we say admin, initially frequency is 0, right? Then we have student, and then we have teacher. So it says student, and then we have teacher over here, right? Okay. Now, as I'm going through the list, I got the obj type. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say int current frequency is equal to frequency dot get whatever the obj type is. And now I'm going to say frequency dot put obj type current frequency plus 1. So what this is doing is basically if I come across, first I come across teacher, I say whatever is the current frequency, get that. It says 0. So now I say, okay, go there and now update that frequency to teacher, whatever, 0 plus 1. So now teacher becomes 1. Next time it encounters teacher, it says that current frequency is 1, increase it to 2. This is how we're doing it, how we are counting the frequency. This is a fairly standard approach of counting frequency. I'm sure you're all aware of this one. If you have not, we cover this as the general thing when we're doing hash map. So I believe I've covered this with you all as well. Anyway, we did this. Now I just need to go through for string s in in frequency dot key set. I'm going through all the keys and I'll just print system dot println s comma frequency dot get s, whatever the frequency of that element is, and we need to print it with a certain colon and all, right? So we'll do this like this. Let's see if that works. Yeah, I thought so. We will not be able to import here. Let's see if it works without importing, whether we have the ability. Is linked hash map part of it? No, it's not. So yeah, I think we'll have to do without the linked hash map, in which case we just have to use the count method. Does the array list have a count method? Or actually, instead of doing all of this, I'll show you the easy way. We unnecessarily did too much here. The easy way here is, that, okay, by the way, so it's not unnecessary, but just letting you all know, this is how we would generally do the frequency. One thing we can make good use of over here is, you only have 3 kinds of objects. You don't have to overthink this. You only have 3 kinds of objects anyway. So if I just copy this thing here, right? But you only have 3 kinds of objects. You don't need to do all this frequency and so frequency hash map and so on. Simply put, we can do int count teacher equal to 0, right? Int count admin equal to 0. Int count student equals to 0. And now when we're going through the objects, I get the type of the thing right now, and I'll say, okay, if obj type dot equals, let's say, admin, then we'll say, all right, if that is the case, then count admin plus plus. If the same thing, if it equals, else if it equals student, then you do count student plus plus. And if this is not the case, so then you will just do count teacher plus plus, right? Teacher. So this is what you have to do. And finally, we just have to print that. So we'll say system.out.println admin count admin. Okay. And similarly for student and teacher as well. Student and second. Right. So I believe this should work out. All right. We did not give, what's the issue here? Yeah, extra brackets. Extra brackets were given. Let's try this out. Okay. No student. All right. This should be plus. This should be plus, and this should also be plus. All right. So that passes the test cases, and if I submit it, it should pass all the test cases. All right, everyone. So don't take a map unnecessarily. I took a map for, what is that? As somebody says, no, what is that? 500 IQ. And so no need for all of that mumbo jumbo extra stuff. You can just do the normal stuff as it is. So yeah, is this part clear, everybody? This much? Is this clear? This question. These were two OOP based. In this, you need to know the get class and how to transform it. And in the previous one, you needed to know how to, just about factory methods, basically. That's it. Clear, everyone? This part? If it's clear, please do say clear on the chat so that I know that you've heard and understood it. Okay. All right. If you want me to repeat a particular part, you just have to tell me the line number and I'll repeat that. I'm here to help you understand. I already understand all these questions. So this is more to help you understand. Okay. Awesome. So let's go on to the next question. So we look into this question called vowels of all substrings. This is still level 1 questions. We are not going into the level 2 questions as yet, but yeah, this is like more algorithmic level 1 question. The previous one were more OP level 1 questions. Okay, cool. So given a string word, return the sum of the number of vowels in every substring of word. So in every possible substring of word, you need to return the sum of the number of vowels there. Okay, and they're telling you in advance, due to the large constraints, the answer may not fit in a 32-bit signed integer. So make sure that you be careful. Basically, we'll need to use a long over here to get the answer. So the example they've given is ABA. Let's have a look at this example over here. So vowels of all substrings. Right. So 1 second. Look at this. Vowels of all substrings. So the example they've given is ABA. Now, what are all of the possible substrings of this? You can have A, you can have AB, you can have ABA, you can have B, you can have BA, and then you can have A. So there are totally 6 substrings, right? If I look at it, it's like A, AB, ABA. Then you could also have B, BA, and then you can have just A over here. How many vowels are there in this one? There is 1 vowel here. If I just keep it on the side, there's 1 vowel here, another vowel here, 2 vowels here, 0 vowels here, 1 vowel here, and 1 vowel here. So totally, if I add the number of vowels, I get 1 plus 1, 2, plus 2, 4, plus 2 more, 6. So the answer becomes is equal to 6 because there are, if I combine all the substrings, there are 6 vowels totally in all of the substrings combined. All right. Okay, so over to you guys now. I'll give you one example and you have to tell me how many vowels are there in that. So tell me in A, B, U, C. How many vowels are there in all the substrings of this? How many vowels will be there? Or how many sum of the vowels? Like if you take every substring, what is the sum of all the vowels in all the substrings combined? Let me know. What do you guys think? How many will be there? Think, everybody. Take about a couple of minutes and think. 10. Okay, somebody's saying 10. What about others? Do you think it's 10? 10. Okay, let's do it this way. Okay, A will be with itself. The way to look at this question is where all A will participate. Okay, A is going to participate on its own and it's going to participate with another 3 more, right? So it's going to be AB, ABU, and ABUC. It's going to participate with that. So A is going to be part of, let's say, 3 with itself, and then 3 more on the right side. So A is going to be part of 4 substrings over there. All right. What about U? What about U? Because that's the only other vowel that you have here. So what about U? U will participate. One is on its own, right? One is on its own. Plus, it's going to participate with basically, how do I say this? Yeah, what will U participate with? What is U going to participate with? U will participate like this, UC, right? with BUC and with ABUC as well. So in other words, we can also look at it this way. After you and before you. Before you can participate with 2, right? Before you can participate with 2. And after you can participate with 1. But all the ones that you participated with before 2 can also be counted later on as well, right? Let's think of this a little bit more. And through this only we'll get a logic. U that's there, right? How many substrings can it be part of on the left side? On the left side, it can technically be part of 3 substrings, right? How do I mean by 3 substrings? You have A, you have AB, and you have ABU, right? All of these are possible, right? Again, let me just rephrase. It could have started from A and come to U. It could have started from B and come to U, or it could start from U itself, right? So these are all the ones that it could participate in from the left side, plus its own self. These are all the ones that are possible over here on ABU. These are all the ones that are possible. Okay. Am I double counting? Yeah, I am double counting. I'm double counting. So again, let me just say it here. Let's again look at A, B, and U. What are all the possibility on the left side? If we get the left side correct, then the right side is actually quite easy, right? So if I just look at the left side, U can participate with starting from A, starting from B, right? And itself, right? Starting from A, starting from B, and starting from itself, right? So that would be that it is 3 are there that it can do, right? Now, let me look at it the other way, actually. Let me look at it like this. U can be the end of either if it started from A or if it started from B. So there are 2 possibilities over there, okay? So somebody's saying, sir, for both A and U, yeah, we'll get into it. For A, it was easy because it's starting with A. So we know that A will participate in 4 of them. What I'm trying to do here is I'm going to say that where all is A appearing? I'm not trying to generate the substrings themselves and counting the number of vowels, but rather I'm trying to say where all will A appear in all those substrings. In how many substrings A will appear. That way I can count the sum of the vowels. That would be easier rather than generating all the substrings, because generating all the substrings will take too much time. Right. So here what I'm saying is U could either have started from 2. It could have U could be the endpoint for any of the substrings on the left side, which are there are 2 substrings on the left side, right? Plus its own, right? There's its own substring as well that it can have, right? Into, why am I doing into? Let's say there was a D, E, F over here. All of the substring on the left side will combine with, let's say, up till C, then up till D, then up till E, and so on, right? So what I look is how many substrings do I have on the right? I have 1, right? So as per this, I would think that I have like 4 plus 3, 7 substrings in which I'm getting. Is that correct? If for ABUC, I'm getting 7 substrings. Would that be correct? We'll only have to find out by generating all the substrings, right? So let's quickly do that. AB, ABUC, and is it ABU and ABUC? It's the one. Starting from B, you have B, BU, BUC. Starting from U, you have U, UC, and then you have C. These are all the substrings that are there, right? We don't want the subsets. We don't want all the things. So you have this. If I'm doing that way, so you get 1 here, also 1 here, you get 2, and for ABUC also you get 2, right? Then B is 0, 1, 1, and then you have 1 and 1. So it's definitely not 7. It is 2 plus 4, 6 plus 4, 10. Yeah. So you guys are right. It is 10. 4. Yeah, it is 10. So we're missing out some place. A, okay. Are we correct in saying that A is participating 4 times? Let's look at it this way. A participates 4 times. Yeah, A overall is participating 4 times. It's not participating more than that. Is our count for U correct? U comes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, and we were thinking it's coming 7 times, right? So where did we make a mistake? We said that U will either be part of all the ones that end in U. So if I look at it, the ones that end in U are these ones. The ones that end in U is, this one over here. That's one of them. This ends in U. This also ends in U, right? And this also ends in U, by the way, right? And we said all of this will all combine with C on the right side. Yeah. So I have C on the right side, C on the right side. Oh, where we made a mistake was, it's not just C on the right side. It is adjectives themselves have to be counted plus C on the right side. That's where it got mistaken. Meaning that you count your own self, there will be, so in other words, all the ones ending with U, will be 3. There will be 3 ending with U plus 3 into how many ever elements you have on the right side. Elements on right side, which will also contain U, right? So how many elements are there on the right side? There are actually just 1 on the right side. So U will be 3 plus 3, which is equal to 6. And then you have 4 plus 6 as 10 overall. Let's take one more example so that we all are on the same page. So for instance, let's apply the same logic to ABA only, right? Let's apply the same logic to ABA. What I'm saying is, instead of generating the substrings, let's say that, okay, starting A is the starting part. So what we are saying is that A itself is going to combine with 3 substrings. That's simple because it's the starting one. When it comes to the next A, we are saying that the second A, it is going to combine with 3 before it, because it can be like A, it can be ABA, BA, or just A. So it could be 3 before it, into, first of all, themselves, plus 0 on the right side. I don't have any other on the right side. So this totally would be 6, which is what we got. We got 6 as the answer. Let's take another example to get the entire flow of this. So let's take BOARD. Let's say something like this. Okay. B is not a vowel. O is a vowel. O will combine with 2 from the left side, including itself, 2 from the left side. So it's going to be like BO and O itself. This will be themselves, like these on the prefixes themselves, plus every element on the right side. How many elements do we have on the right side? We have 3 elements on the right side, right? So O is going to be part of 8 such substrings. What about A? A is going to be part of 3 from the right side, 3 from the right side over there, into first itself, plus how many on the 2 on the right side, which is going to be equal to 9. So totally speaking, you should have 17. You should be having 17 such substrings in which vowels are there. And we can confirm this also. I think let's quickly just create all of them. So it'll be B, BO, BOA, BOAR, and BOARD. Then you have O, OA, OAR, OARD, A, AR, ARD, R, RD, and then D. Right? These are all the substrings. Now let's check for them. You have, if I again make the same kind of a thing, so let's put that over here. It will be basically no, B is 0, 0, comma, BO is 1, BOA. So BOA is 2, 2, 2. For O, you have 1, 2, 2, 2. A is 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, and 0. Right? So if I count the entire thing, it should become, if I sum this up, it is 6, 7. This is also 7. And here you have 3. So overall, we got 17, right? Is equal to 17. Are you understanding the working of this one, everybody? What's the working of the solution? I'm basically trying to say that, see that for this vowel, how many from the left side will I be part of? So those are there for sure, those substrings. And how many of these left side substrings will then further be continued on to the right side, right? So it's like saying for A, what are all the substrings it's going to be part of? I'm not generating all the substrings, rather I'm saying what all substrings is going to be part of. It's going to be part of B, so it's going to be part of BOA, OA, and A. So these three you have for sure. And then on top of these three, it is all of these will further extend to R and then further extend to RD. So there are two more for each of these three. That's why 3 into 2 you have over there. Is this part clear, everybody? Are you guys getting what we're trying to say here? Is this clear? Please do say clear on the chat so that I know it's clear. Right? Okay. Awesome. Clear then. So I'll just go and implement this. So the way we'll do that is we'll write the entire thing. What you have is input is just one word. You have one word. So that should be public class main, public static void main string args. And you have to also add the scanner. So you do import java.util.scanner. And you do scanner scan is equal to new scanner system.in, and you did string word, and word is equal to scan.nextInt, right? This is what we do. Now all we're trying to do is we're trying to go through this entire word. So I go for int we can also do anyway for int I equal to 0, I less than word dot length I plus plus, right? I try to get the current string right now. So I say string current is equal to word of second. So I get word dot get I comma I plus 1. This is a way of getting the string at the substring between at position I. So I got this. Now I say if is vowel, I'll write another function called vowel. So is vowel, current. If it's a vowel, then what do I want to do? I'll create the int total, the total sum of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check how many elements are there on the left side, including my current element, right? So that's how many pre-substrings I'll have. So int pre-subs is equal to how many? It's going to be like if A is index here, it's going to be 3. So basically it's at index 2. So it's going to be index 2 plus 1, right? So it's going to be I plus 1, right? That's how many prefixes it's going to be part of. And the number of suffixes that it can combine with, int suffixes that it can actually combine with. So I'll make this also prefixes, int prefix and int suffix. Yeah, sorry, it should not be next int, it should be just be next. Yeah. So in suffix, number of suffixes it can combine with is n being the length, right? So it'd be word dot length minus I. Is that correct? If I just look at it, what are the number of suffixes it can combine? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's n is 5, right? N is equal to 5. So it can combine with 5 minus 2. No, n minus I minus 1, right? Technically speaking, it's going to be n minus, this is 2. It can combine with n minus I minus 1, I believe. So that you get 5 minus 2. But we want to do plus 1 also on that, right? So it can combine with how many on the right side? 2, including my own. So what we want to do is total is equal to total plus how many will this combine with? This will combine with prefix into 1 plus suffix. Why did I do 1 plus suffix? It's like all the prefixes themselves will be there for sure. So you count all the prefixes on their own, plus all of the prefixes will then combine with the suffixes as well. So that's why I did this. So total is equal to total plus that. And then finally, I should print out the total. Here. Right. So if I run this, all right, sorry. Word dot not get, word dot substring. I am Messing up the syntaxes. So what dot substring, and we didn't do the is vowel. We didn't do the is vowel method. So let's quickly do that. Public static boolean will return true or false. Boolean is vowel. String, let's say X. We want to check if X is a vowel or not. So I just do if X dot equals A, return true. There is a cooler way of writing this. I'll also explain that as well. So a cooler way of writing this would be there, but so this is one way. Actually, yeah, we can, instead of so many, let's just do this. X dot equals A, or X dot equals E, or X dot, not equals also, by the way, equals, no, equals is correct. E, I, O, U. So if it has any of this, you return true, else you return false. That's the vowels. So string out of bounds exception. Why do we have string out of bounds exception over here? I comma I plus 1, not I plus I plus 1. Made a mistake there. All right, so now it passes the test cases, and if I submit it, it passes not all the cases. It passes only some test cases, but not all. Why does it not pass all? Because as you always go back to the question and check out, as per the question, it says that due to the large constraints, the answer may not fit in a 32-bit integer, right? So if it doesn't fit, we will need to create a long int. It's in Java, it's long, right? Or is it long int? This part I don't remember. Long is fine. Okay. Yeah, it is. This also should be long ideally then. Long and long, and then all of these are long, by the way. Right, and let's just see. Lossy conversion. All right, fine. This could be int. That's not the issue. Yeah, but yeah, no, it passes. Correct. So you needed the total number of suffixes and prefixes also to be in long. That was the issue. So yeah, the edge case over here was that both basically the total number would be too big. So hence we had to make it into a long value. Okay. Is this one clear, everybody? Did you all understand? So it's a simple mathematics. Actually didn't have to do anything too much. Some of you I know were trying to do DPE and all with that. You don't really need to do any of that. It's just simply mathematics over here. So if it's clear, please do say clear, this one. Right. All right. So should we do one more question, everybody? There is time for one more question. Are you all ready for one more question? Or tired, want to take it up later? What do you guys say? It'll take only 15 minutes, the next question, but you have to tell me. Are you ready? Shall we go with the next question? If you have any doubts in this one, please mention that you have a doubt or something. And if it's clear in this one, please say clear so that I know that you've understood it. Clear? Okay. All right. So I'll move on to the last question then. Let me move on to the last question for the day. The question is called Game of Profit. Okay. So let's just take this up. Okay. You are given the predicted price of XYZ's company share for every minute. Each minute you are allowed to either buy one share of XYZ or sell as many number of shares of XYZ that you own, or not make any transaction at all. Your task is to find out the maximum profit. All prices are between 1 and 10 raised to 5. Okay. So the question goes like this. Let's say, imagine that these are the prices. Okay. So these are the prices 5, 3, 2. Meaning that on day 1, the price was 5. Then day 2, the price became 3. And the day 3, it became 2. What's the maximum profit I can get if I buy on a particular day and sell on a next day? I cannot get any profit over here, right? So this is game of profit. So I can't get any profit over here because I can't really sell anything, right? I mean, if I buy at 5, I'm going to get a loss at 3. And if I try to sell at 2, then I'm going to get even a bigger loss, right? So there's no way that I can buy something. So I don't actually buy anything, and my profit is equal to 0 in this case, right? Let's go to the next one where it says 1, 2, and 100. So I get 1, 2, and 100. Right? In this case, what's the maximum profit that I can get? What is the maximum profit that I can end up getting over here? What does the question say, by the way? Do I have to buy every day? Do I have to buy? Or not make any transactions? I can choose not to make any transaction also. Right? And initially speaking, okay. And in this question, it's saying, wait, the question is a bit wrong, is it not? So for 3, 1, 2, and 100, it's saying that I can have 197 profit. How could I have a 197 profit here? 97 I can still get because you'll buy at 1, you'll buy at 2, and then you'll sell 100. So buying it. The 197 doesn't make sense, right? Is that just a typo on the question? Let's just see. It's a typo on the question itself. No, it's the expected output 197. So we are making anybody have any thoughts on this? Either you can buy one share or sell any number of shares of XYZ that you own, or not make any transaction at all. Your task is to find the maximum profit. So I could buy one share, and this is the price of one share, right? So if I buy this one at 1 rupees, the next day I have the price going to 2 rupees, right? Interesting. Let's look at this. So I buy, let's say I have X shares. So I buy one share for 1 rupees. The next day I can sell that same share for 2 rupees. Is that how that works? One share for 1 rupees. That one share value is now 2 rupees. So now if I sell it, I will get 2 rupees, correct? I will have 2 rupees, right? By selling it. So I'll sell it. Oh yeah, correct, right. I'm just blanking for something. Buy one at 1 rupees, right? Buy another one. Thanks for that, for giving me that input. I don't know why I blanked completely on this. Buy another one at 2 rupees. So how many shares do I have? I have currently 2 shares, right? And my spend is right now minus 3 rupees, right? Now when I sell both shares, what will I get? I'll get 200 rupees because on the third day the price is 200. My net is equal to 197. That's why 197. Okay. Are you all understanding this? Now is it clear, everybody? right? Is this clear? The logic? At every day, you'll just buy one share. That's it. Or you can either buy one share at every point, or you can sell the entire thing off, whatever your portfolio is, or sell some of your portfolio at this price, right? So does this make sense, everyone? What the question is talking about? Is this clear? Do tell me, give me a clear if you've got it. Can you explain once again? Sure, I'll explain. Basically speaking, just look at it this way. At every point, you either have a buy option or a sell option. Now, currently, I don't even have any shares. So let's say if I buy, is it worth even buying one? It is, because later on, I'm going to get a profit. I am going to get a profit later on. So it's worth buying one. Now, how do you know if you're going to get later on? Well, they've given you the entire array. So you can scan the array. So I know that for this one, I know that one, I'm going to get a profit eventually. So I'll buy it. Okay. So how many shares do I have? I have one share over here, right? And how much is my spend so far? And how much is my earning so far, right? So my spend so far is 1. My earning so far is 0 because I don't have any earning. Then I move here. Should I buy or should I sell? Again, I know that if I buy today, selling later on would be good. Buying at 1 and selling at 2 is not a great profit. I'm getting only 1 profit. Whereas if I buy at 1 and sell at 100, it would be even better, right? I'll get like 99 profit, right? So what I'll do is I have another share I'll buy. How much I'll spend? This time I'll spend 2 rupees and my earning is again 0. And finally, and by last one, should I buy or sell here? There's no point buying over here because I will not have another time to sell it. So let me sell my shares. When I try to sell my shares, I have 2 shares. I'm going to not spend anything, but I'll get 200 earning. I'm going to get 200 earning over there. So if I'm going to get 200 earning, what's the total now over here? My spend is -3 and earning is 200. So I've got a total profit of 197. Does it make sense? Right? Okay. So how do we solve this? Let's look at the approach over here. The approach we can follow is actually fairly standard once you understand this. Buy a share only if you can sell it later, right? Margin on each share, or that is how much you'll get plus for that, each share is equal to buying price, or rather selling price, or not even selling price, max selling price minus buying price. Okay. Because if you look at the other way, this one, the profit I'm going to make is I'll spend 1 on this, but the profit I'll make is 99 rupees. Because I know on the right side, the maximum price I'm going to get is 100 rupees. So I'll make a profit of 99 rupees. Same thing here. For 2, I'm going to make a profit of 98 rupees. So 98 plus 99, 197 I'm going to get over here. Okay. So basically at each step, I have to make a choice. Should I buy it or not? I only buy it if there is a share greater than me on the right side. And the margin of that share is going to be whatever is the maximum value on the right side. So this question now becomes, find the maximum value on the right side for every element, right? Find the maximum element on the right side for all of the elements that are there. Okay. How do I do that? This is a simple, like a prefix sums kind of an approach where I'll create an array. So for example, this 1, 200, what I'll do is I'll actually create an array which finds the maximum element on the right side. The way I'll do that is for 100, there is no maximum element on the right side. So it's -1. For 2, it is the next element. It's either, if it's greater than 2, then it's the next element. So for 2, it's 100 is the maximum element on the right side, right? And for 1 also, it's 100. So if the maximum element on the right side is greater than 1, if it's greater than 1, so we'll sell 1 at 100 rupees and we'll sell 2 at 100 rupees. The margin you're going to get on this is, for 1, the margin will be plus 99 and here the margin will be plus 98. So overall you'll get 197. So I need to maintain an array which contains the maximum element on the right side. All right, clear everybody so far? Let me go ahead and try to implement it. Public static void main string right, and import java.util star. Okay. All right. So it's also given the size of the array, so that also makes it easy. So we'll say int n is the size of the array, and we'll say int arr is equal to new int n, but before that I need to take in the n as well. Int n is equal to scan dot next int, but before that I need to define the scanner also. So scan is equal to new scanner system.a, right? Awesome. So once we've done this, I scan the next element. Int arr is new int n. I also need to create the int max write. Int max underscore write is equal to new int n as well. So this will store the maximum element on the right side. So for now, let's actually just take input the array. It will take input the particular array, which is arri is equal to scan dot next int. Once I've taken input the array, now I'll go in reverse this time. I'm going to go in reverse. I is equal to 0, or not I is equal to 0. I equal to n minus 1. I greater than equal to 0. I minus minus. Now, in this case, the first element, for the last element, max underscore write of I, for the max element, let us say n minus 1, it's always going to be minus 1. You're not going to have a greater element on the right side. There is no element on the right side. So there's not going to be any greater element on the right side at all. So let's just keep it as minus 1. So we'll start at n minus 2 actually. And I'll say maximum element on the right side for my current element is, should I start from n minus 2? Yeah. So maximum element on the right side is equal to the maximum of either the current maximum, so which is maximum element of I, is equal to whatever is the maximum of write of I plus 1, or arr I plus 1. Let me explain this one to you. Let me explain this one to all of you all. So I'll just create another array here just to show you. If we had an array of something like this, let's say 1, 5, 3, 9, 2, 23, and 4, right? And now if I had to create a maximum, so this is the arr. So arr is equal to this, right? Now, if I have to create the max on the right side, what I'll do is I'll start at the end. I know that 4 doesn't have anything, right? So I'll put a minus 1 here. 4, there's no element on the right side. For 23, the max element is either whatever is the max element on the right side for 4 or 4 itself, one of the two. So for 23, it's 4. That's fine. Now you'll understand here. For 2, the maximum element is either whatever is the maximum element at the beyond 23 or 23 itself, because 23 is the new entrant. So it becomes 23, right? For 9, maximum element on the right side is either 2 or maximum element to the right of 2, which is 23. So between them, 23 is the greater element. Okay. For 3, maximum element on the right side is either 9 or the maximum on the right side of 9, which is what? Which is 23. So it's going to be 23 itself. So for all of these, it becomes 23, 23, 23. That's what it becomes for all of them. Okay. So this is the thing we are calculating. Now you could go from at 1 and go to the right side, calculate the maximum, at 5, calculate the maximum. That would become order n square. But we want it to be order n. So what we are saying is find whatever is the maximum on the right side of I plus 1 and array of I plus 1, whichever is the maximum. Now in Java, you don't really have a max like that. So you'll have to do math.max, right? So that's what you'll have to do it over here. So max right of I is this, right? And once you calculate the max right of I, what you need to do is then go for int I equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus, right? for each element, you make a decision of either, you basically calculate the margin. So I'll say int total is equal to 0, and the total margin will be equal to either I'm buying this particular element now and selling it later, right? So when will I sell? I'll only sell. So I'll say if max underscore right of I is greater than ARRI. So that means I have an element on the right side which is greater than me. That's the only time I'll buy this and I'll sell it. So I'll say that, okay, total is equal to total minus ARRI plus max right I, because this is the maximum margin that I'm going to get. This is the margin that I'm going to get, right? Do that only if it's greater. If it is not greater, then there's no point buying here, because I have nothing on the right side which is greater than me, right? If there was, then we'd have a maximum element on the right side, but we don't have. So I'll only do this if I have a value on the right side which is greater than me over there, right? And yeah, after that, I system print total. So that should be the case. Let's see if we have any. All right, so this one passes, and let's see if over here also passes the test cases. All right. Did you guys get this? Any doubts or questions in this approach, everybody? Any doubts or questions in this approach? If it's clear, please do say clear. No doubts? Awesome. So everybody, just a quick recap of what all we covered today. We covered one MCQ question. We've covered one MCQ question, 20 questions of that. We saw the pattern. So this is the general pattern of it. And we looked at Q1, that is level 1 coding questions of EPAM, which could be either prefix sums or sorting or 2 pointers and so on. Or it could be OOP related, which is the first 2 questions that we saw. And the next 2 questions we saw were maths related. There are also questions related to data structures, backtrack, and dynamic programming, which we will cover in our next session on this. So do stay tuned for that one. And yeah, that's it for now, everybody. So thank you all for joining today. Thank you all for staying online so late. I know you have your exams and so on coming up, but thanks a lot for joining in. And yeah, we'll catch you all next time. All right. If you have any more questions and so on that you would like to ask doubts in, please let us know in the comments on the YouTube section, or you can also reach out to our mentors. If you are anyways an Edyst student, you can always reach out. Somebody's asking, sir, teacher and student question. Sure. From mock test, that was this question only, right? Oh, you mean the student Viva question, the student. All right. So we're kind of out of time today, but I'll make sure that in the next session, we cover that one as well. The student Viva question, right? That's more to do with the peaks. So just if you want to do, you can also look at the arrays and peaks sort of questions. But yeah, I'll come back to you with that solution as well. So yeah, thanks for raising that up, and I'll definitely take it up in the next session. All right, everybody. Thank you all for joining today. That will be it from our side. And yeah, we'll catch you next time. Thanks so much. All right. Somebody saying I cleared round 1 and got good info into round 2. Yeah, they have a big hiring round, everybody, EPAM. So give your best, and there's a good chance you can get selected. All right. So yeah, all the best, everybody. And yeah, there's one more session. So we'll take this up in the next one. All right. Thank you so much.